That's what you want to see.
Let's go.
Oh my God, that's a lot of work. It's just been trying to shape these curves here and here, and then trying to keep this lip line. It's tricky with how it's welded together because it's the console for in there, and the seats have to clear, so it kind of pinches a bit. So it's just a lot of shaping. We got the green done on the dash, so all our welds, everything are all sealed in and watertight now. So tomorrow and the next day we'll get on that, and we'll start getting some filler all the way around it and get it. We're literally going to slick basically the whole dash, especially the whole top. We're going to slick the whole thing and then start fresh from there and give ourselves a nice level playing field. And then we've got these parts on the passenger side here all scuffed up, so they're ready to go. So these ones are good. These are driver side, so they got to get done, and then they can go up to the booth and they can get sprayed. Might as well pull them out of here now while we're doing it. So then we did a little test run here on 400 on the box side, and it is going to level out really nice. So we're going to start on that tomorrow, hopefully, working on the dash in between curing and here, curing here, curing here, yada yada yada. And that's what we're going to be up to. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. There's gonna be a lot of hand movement. There's gonna be a lot of sanding still. So we are not out of the woods by any means, but we are getting close. We're tired, and we're tired. We gotta keep pushing, because that's what you do, right? Hope everybody's having an amazing day. Have the best day ever. All right, so we're making some progress here today in the shop. Today we are working on wet sanding. We're moving through the stages, 400, 600, 800, directional, making sure we're good to go. Everything looks really, really good. We've got really nice lines on everything. It's a process, it takes some time, but it's well worth it. We've got a really nice gloss happening now. The cab, we've gone 400 on the whole thing. We've done 600 on the whole thing. So now we're gonna go over with the 800, refine our scratches, and take out anything that we can see. We guide coat with white in between each one. That way you can see any tiny little scratch possible. We don't want anything showing up in any pearls or any metallics when we're done shooting. So we're done working on that. The console right now is pretty buttoned up to the point for body work. We've got our lines all carved into it. It's got a weird bit of a kink because of where the seats sit right about here. So it's kind of got to narrow in and then pop back out again, but it's also, we got to retain this same shape in here. So there's a little bit of a trick to try and mold this part here, but then give it a nice roll here and give it a bit of a kink to then smooth. You're trying to do a lot of concave and convex and a lot of curvature that's not supposed to happen, but we've got it. So now this thing is all done, ready to go for primer to lock all that bodywork in. And then we can start the finishing process and probably have to glaze a couple of spots. The dash, we've got all in green glass, all our welds, everything's all taken care of and sealed in, so it's waterproof and it's all roughed out now. This is gonna be a little bit of a trick to do because there's been a bunch of patches put into this to make it fit exactly how he wanted it, plus retain the original part of the Ranger here. So there's going to be just a bit of a trick with the bit of a dip here, a dip here. So we've got to kind of give ourselves a nice factory arch up on top. At the same time, we've got a bit of a dip in here and the other one coming in, and then everything along in here. This is just to seal in any of the welding spots and make sure that if there is any existing pinholes that they're all sealed in and no moisture can come through from either side and cause us issues down the road. We want to make sure that just nothing happens, and it's just how I do it. It's literally protocol for me that any of the welds goes over and I want to make sure things are sealed in. I don't want to take a chance. I don't like to shortchange anything. And this is how I want to make sure it's all done. So now I've got a good platform to start building on. So we're going to get at that, because this is going to be a process all in itself, is doing this baby right here. I want to make sure and get all this stuff done, ready to go, because then it can actually go to the paint booth. It can go up there in a couple of weeks and get painted while I'm working on and finishing off the dash. We've got these parts. These ones are all scuffed and ready to go. Passenger side suspension. I'm going to work along on these ones here hopefully today and get those ones buttoned up and get them scuffed down. And we have the steering column, which is raw, and it's ready to go. So it can go up with the parts when I take them up. Because our other parts, all the doors, the fender, and the hood are all up at the paint shop. If you don't already follow, make sure to follow and check out Back Corner Studios here on YouTube and across all their socials on all platforms. Josh is a good friend of ours. He lives not too far from here with a big shop in Stratford, Ontario. Automotive restoration, custom paint, how-to, tech videos, great content. Very intelligent man's been in the industry a long time. And he's the one that's helping us out here with getting this stuff shot and painted. That's where the doors, the fenders, and the hood are. I'm going to be spending some time up there wet sanding parts in order to get everything all done here within the next couple of weeks. For now, we're going to get at this thing. We're going to get some water on the side of that thing. We'll see you in a bit. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to blow this thing off as to where I'm going to be working. I don't want any little dust particles to be rubbed in while I'm wet sanding and causing me more scratches and more problems. So blow it down, wipe it down, and then start clean. Trust me, you do not want to start grinding more stuff in than you absolutely have to, because then it's a bitch to get it out. We're going to work in sections. There's no sense getting ahead of yourself. Take this process slowly. When it comes to the finishing process, we're going to work in sections and make sure everything is gone, everything directional. This is 400 this way, and now I'm going to go this way with 600 and make sure all my 400 is gone. I'm going to guide coat with my white guide coat, and then I'm going to start working. So my goal is to just work the top rib all the way down, get this one done. I'm going to go around the back. I'm going to go around the other side. The last thing you want to do is rush this process, because from here it goes to color. This is where you want to make sure you're dialed in. You can start anywhere, just make sure you start and continue and try not to jump all over the place, and it just makes things easier to remember. Okay, so that was just a quick pass to do right off the bat. And this is the kind of stuff that you want to see gone. So that's what you're looking for. That's what that white guide coat is sitting down inside, is to make sure those little scratches and those little lines are gone. So once you do this, this is why I say don't rush. Don't try to go ahead of the game, and don't try to think you're almost there and just get it done. This is actually kind of the more tedious part than the rest of it, as you really got to be watching and paying attention. You want really nice smooth moves. You want smooth lines. And there's another couple of lines right there. There's a couple there. So I know my paper is a little bit dull from yesterday. So this is really good. So I can throw on a fresh piece of paper and I know I can cut, but everything else looks really good. Looks really good. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for any of that white powder coat lying in any of those little lines, and you want to make sure they are gone. You don't have to rub hard with wet sanding. You just need to keep the water on it, keep it cleaned out, keep clean water in your thing. I have access to clean water right here in the shop, so I can change my water out of my bottle and refill and make sure it's clean, so I'm not shooting anything on here that's dirty or anything dirty out of that bucket. You want this to be nice and clean. It's a nice clean working surface. It feels really, really good. Those are the things you're looking for. That's the kind of thing you want to take. It's not a quick process. It takes time if you want it done right. Same as anything else. If you want it done right, do it right the first time. Take the time to do it. Don't skip any steps. If for some reason you're on a certain grit of paper and it's not getting rid of it, if you're on 6 and it's not getting rid of that scratch line, go back down. Maybe it's a little too heavy to get rid of with 6. Maybe you got to get rid of it with 4. Maybe there was a piece of dirt under a 4 or 320 if you started there, depending on how rough your surface was. Go back down a little bit, rub it out, and then work your way back up again. This is that finishing process that you want to make sure is bang on, because once you lay color on this, there's no turning back. And depending on how fine the metallics and the pearls and the aluminums are in your paint and in your base, they'll lie right in there and they will show right through. So we want to make sure all that stuff's gone, and that is why guide coat is absolutely a must. Very cheap to get, and it's very easy to use, and you use as much of it as possible. It's not expensive, and it's well worth the few bucks to guide coat and go around and chalk everything. So gone. It doesn't take much. Doesn't take much pressure, and good, clean, fresh paper is beneficial. Don't worry about going through paper. You're gonna burn through paper. As soon as you feel it sticking and it's not sliding, and feel the cutting, you can feel the grooves. As soon as you feel that, throw another piece on, move it around a bit. You wanna make sure all those little babies are gone. And once all your guide coat's on, clean everything down, wipe it all down, call that panel finished. Keep working your way around until you're totally done, and then start your next round of your next grit. That's why I'm not worried about getting any farther on the cab. It's all in 600, because I want to get all of this into 600. Then I know I'm good. Then all the 600 paper disappears, and I clean up and I move on to 8. And that way there's no question about where I am and what stage I'm at and where I'm going. And you get to knock things off the list in order. Call me picky, call me anal, call it whatever you want. Whatever works for you to help you remember, whatever works for you to help keep the plan and the project moving forward, no matter what you're doing or what you're building, stick with it. If you have something that works for you, let us know in the comments down below. There's more than one way to get the job done for most things. All depends on how you were taught, how you were raised, and what you find works out best for you time-wise with the best of your abilities. For me, this process is very, very important and very crucial. And when I can see that this primer is going to gloss up and look beautiful, then I know the end result is going to look even better. And that excites me, because I know I will be happy with it. The customer will be very happy with it, and it will look amazing when it's completed and all put together in one piece. Also, it's not a secret, I am using plexiglass blocks. So some of these are very thick, some of them are very thin, and they've got curves. Some of these are really thick, 1/4 inch, so they're really hard. If you want to take everything out and you want to flatten this down, you don't use anything else other than plexiglass blocks, and you can make your own. I've got a whole bunch I've made. I have this kit here from Big Kid Blocks when they sent me a whole bunch of stuff years back, so I still have a whole bunch of their stuff, but I have a ton of them because they need to fit in everywhere, and you can shape them and make them to whatever you want. But you want to run plexiglass or Lexan blocks, all different thicknesses. You'll find you'll only ever use certain ones all the time, but as long as you have a bunch of them in your arsenal, it makes things like this go that much faster and easier and cuts beautifully. This is what you want. I want a nice smooth finish. That's what you want to see. That's what we like right there. If this is going to look good like this, it's going to look amazing with color, clear, polish, cut and polish, the whole shot. This is what you want to see right here. All the extra work does pay off. This is what you want to see. This is what gets us excited and gets us out of bed in the morning. Because now when you look down the side of that, if there was anything, you would see it now at this point because everything's all gone. So if there's anything white left, you would see it. And we're looking really good. Okay. Oh, let's take this off for a second. We just finished wetting everything down. We've got 600 all the way around into here. And now we've got 600 dialed in all the way down. That's just 600 wet. This is what we want. Directional. You don't see any scratches. We're okay with all this. This looks really good. I'm gonna take the gun here and give her a quick little spritz. It's always nice getting to see it disappear. That gives us 600 all the way around, one way, one direction, that top rib all the way around the bed sides. You'll notice that the corners haven't been touched. I don't want to hard block on the corners because if you end up hard blocking, you'll end up putting edges into it. So this is where a soft block comes into play, so you can round your corners lightly. You basically have no pressure. If you watched me doing this 600 a minute ago, it was literally just in the palm of my hand and I'm hardly putting any pressure on it. I'm just keeping it going and keeping the water to it. You see me with the other hand spritzing and I'm just keeping the water to it to keep it clean and keep any of the dirty stuff out of there. And that's what gives you that really nice, smooth, clean cut. And it allows the paper to do what it's supposed to do. And now this thing is ready. The whole top rib all the way around is ready for 800, but we are gonna continue on, work our way down. The tailgate is gonna be a fun little thing here. This is gonna take some time in there, obviously because of the letters and everything else. I have a few little tricks for doing things like this. It's not my first rodeo with raised lettering. So we're gonna continue and work our way around, but that's what we're up against with this thing for wet sanding, the same as we did here. And once it's all done in 6, we move to 8. We'll see how everything looks there, and we'll give it a rub, and then we'll be ready. Mini Nuts is coming soon. If you're enjoying these videos, hit the subscribe button down below, and we'll see you in the next one.